Hey YouTube, welcome back to Beyond the Manual. We have a special edition here today. It's balmy 30 degrees. There's still some snow in the corner, but we're here at Discount Fireworks in Ripon, and I highly recommend you check this place out. We are here picking up our order for the 4th of July. That'll be its own video as we prep, unpackage, and fuse all that with our, well, you'll find out. But we're going to take a quick walk around. They have a lot of stuff here, and these guys are great because don't worry if you're not, say, a professional or you have questions. These guys here in Ripon are, they look forward to teaching people, informing people, and making sure that people have not only a safe 4th of July, but a great 4th of July. So let's take a walk around, and I'll just show you like a fraction of what these guys have. So a lot of this is outdoor in Connex, which is great because it's to me it's a lot better organized than a bunch of big warehouses. So we're pretty early here. It is still March, and these guys already have their tent set up and they're unloading shipments of fireworks coming in. But we'll take around here. There are probably 17-ish Connex containers full. Plus, as you can see, they are definitely getting ready for the year here as they take in shipments. And eventually this tent here will be full of organized shelves and a lot of really cool effects. And we're going to go over at some point what we bought. Sorry if I'm a little shaky. I'm out here in a sweatshirt and it is like legit 20 degrees. But that's all right. That's part of my favorite time of year. That's one of ours. So here's the indoor, more consumer stuff, but you can just see they're not even fully stocked for the year yet. And it is not just fireworks like you see on the roadside, but these are awesome effects, brand name. So in my opinion, right, there's a few that lead the way, namely Raccoon, Winda, and I'm also a fan of the Brothers heavyweight stuff. But Ryoko is another good one. And if you want to get into and see some of the ignition systems, they do have a number of those in stock as well. But we're going to get loaded up here and checked out. I just want to give you a quick tour of this place. Again, Discount Fireworks in Ripon. Check them out. So I am hoping, again, this video will come out before the live stream that we're having on July 4th. I know it's short timing. This video might come out the day before, but I will hopefully put the link to the live stream of the show in the description of this video. As you can see, we got our, what we call our fireworks trailer in the building, ready to prep. And what we do is put down some sheet metal to protect the wood, and believe it or don't, this is thick enough metal where you can have a cake completely burned down and you're not going to get anything but maybe a little bit of singed wood underneath. And this year is for the 250th anniversary of our country. Of course, we're going 250% bigger. This should end up being around a 32-minute show, over 80 cues, and I'll show you some of that. I use the Ignite system mostly because I'm cheap and it does a good job. And this video won't be about how to program using Ignite. There are plenty of good videos about that. But we do have 6 songs in our pyro musical, hopefully using that to try to tell the story from the founding of our nation, fighting through different conflicts, and coming together. Kind of be the theme here this year. But this year's show has a ton of pro-grade prosumer 1.4 from some super awesome companies like Reikio and who else do we have here? Raccoon, obviously. Then some more unknown ones, I guess. And this guy I'm really looking forward to shooting off. What is this one? This one, I'll have to maybe find the photo when we pick this up. I kid you not, this firework came shipped in a metal steel grate on a piece of plywood. And I'm pretty sure that is an overload. Just based on the weight alone, I bet you that weighs 70 to 75 pounds. And I don't see a brand name on it. Let's take a look here. It's called Bite of Death. I've seen, it's a part number GNA 146. And I have seen this branded a few different times, but the fact that this doesn't have a brand name on it like that leads me to believe that this is certainly an overload and should be a super awesome shell, along with these guys, the Monster 9-shot. Obviously, these tubes are bigger than what it actually is, but those could very well be legit 3-inch shells in there. Super excited about that. Just because it also has that same 500-gram logo with no real brand, similar to that. Looking forward to seeing what that one does. And these are Wizard. So these are Wizard Pro Grade, and I'm not gonna go into it all, but if you're not familiar, stay away from it or get trained. One of my jobs in the Army was a combat engineer, and we were trained in C4, TNT, dynamite, RTX. So this stuff doesn't really worry me too much, but we do have a combination of clip-on igniters and E-matches I'll show you. But basically you have a black match here, and then you have your electronic E-match fuse connection, and then a viscous fuse if you want to go that route. I just got some foil over some exposed stuff right now because my dog likes to come in here and shake off, and I don't want to get all these wet. Okay, what other brands do we have? We have some heavy hitters by Brothers that I really like in here. And this one, I believe, is also a overload as well. This one is Nunya brand that I have heard of before. And again, that should be a good one. I think, gosh, I'll have to try to remember what the name of that one was. It might have been, I'll post some pictures potentially. That one I think had a picture of a Godzilla and the monkey guy. It's eluding me. King Kong Godzilla, something on the package. And then we got a pile of 62 millimeter that are going to be as part of the show. These are new this year for me. These are the Raccoon, quote, Pro shells. And some of these will be lighting off with the fuse and a clip-on. Some of these will be poking at the lift charge directly. Throwing an E-match in just helps with the timing of the pyromusical. We'll be creating a wall of color. I got 20 or 25 of these Raccoon 30 millimeter comets. They're kind of a nice red, white, and blue look. Obviously, they all take an E-match. And those are actually going to fire off a Milwaukee battery and an RF remote, because I'm going to try to fire all 20 remotely, and that's a little bit more than the Ignite system can do. I'll have a whole bunch of tooling around. We also have some Govee red, white, and blue lights. They're going to be part of the show. A whole bunch of stuff. Homemade rack, I'll show you there. That one was a marketplace find. They're normally pretty expensive. And then Winda. We have a couple Winda fireworks. Those are just standard mortars. Oh, and then we have the coup de grace. Since I couldn't find any salutes I like, those are the big bangers. You'll hear, hopefully, these go off in the live stream. These are my attempt at a ground salute. So we'll see how those work. But here's what the Ignite modules look like, and they come in 2 different flavors. I think we have 7 this year between my buddy and I. I just house them in cheap Pelican cases. This is pretty much what they are. Oops, see, this one doesn't have a paint marker. This one does. Maybe I'll take a paint marker to this one. Just helps see those numbers a little bit better. But they're made by Cobra, and Cobra's what I would say, I don't know, the majority of the professional shows. The stuff you see guys lighting off at big cities and stuff will use Cobra. Cobra makes this for the, guys like me who do this once a year and don't want to invest that kind of money. The only drawback to these are they are Bluetooth, and like 300 feet is pushing it. I really wish they, and I guess they only run on an Apple or Android. I really wish they run off a PC, because I think a lot of the modern laptops have a much stronger Bluetooth antenna, but we make it work. We make it work. These are just, you can find all this on Ignite's website, but they're just antenna extensions, and antennas will mount up here, kind of protect the case. So those are the 18 variety versions, and then one of the, oh, here, I have one out. Here's a 36, same concept, but double the Qs, which is nice because I have a whole bunch of mortars that'll be poked directly with E-matches. One of these, oh yeah, this one, and you can tell, so this one, this is a Harbor Freight case, but this did survive a cake fire last year, and did, protected everything inside the case just fine. Worked great. I should take some of these stickers off. Every year I kind of redo the colors. That's how Ignite works, is every module gets a color, and then you have a color plus a number. That's how you know what you're doing when you hook things up. Plus I label everything. But if you don't want to spend the money on like a 62 millimeter rack, this is kind of when I built this. Is just a metal milk crate. You can find these pretty cheap. But I just cross-lace some 2x4s and bend some metal that I'm using as, kind of springs there. And those will help hold the 62 millimeter tubes in. These will be part to show. These are just some Roman candles that I liked. We'll probably end up just zip tying them to the back of the rack here. Again, a lot of this you don't have to get super fancy with. I probably overdo it as you're going to see here. This whole trailer will get covered in aluminum foil from front to back. I get that at Costco, and it really, really helps because this is not my trailer. I'm borrowing this from a buddy, and it really helps just keep his trailer nice and clean, keeps the sulfur off of it, all the residue. So at the end of the night, we'll park another trailer back where we're firing, and then when we're done, all this will get hosed down, and then all this will get transferred into the dump trailer. That's ours. And then this one will take and hose off completely. All the foil comes off, and you'd never know we use this trailer for fireworks then. So a little bit of prep, but it makes cleanup, and I really appreciate my buddy Steve letting us use his trailer, and we want to protect it, keep it, return it to him in as good, if not better condition. Oh, so we got a whole mix this year. Again, my personal favorites are probably the Raccoon, the Brothers. I've been a big fan so far of these Rakios, and obviously the Raccoon Pro Grade stuff is really nice. And as far as fusing, let's talk about that a little bit. Back on the other side. So I'll kind of explain you how this works. Is this pallet is going to be the start of the show, and it has its own module, actually 2, I believe. And this will be placed in front of the trailer. And when we pull this into final position, this will actually be the front facing the audience. So that pallet will sit kind of out in space here, if you will. So some of these mortars will come down with wires to the module on that pallet, which is just fine. So I've heard guys say, you have to use fuse tape, this, that, zip ties. The problem with zip ties is guys go too tight. And what happens is you pinch this fuse to a point where it doesn't light past the zip tie, and you can say that doesn't happen. I've done a test. Maybe if I have time, I'll zip tie one real tight and we'll light it off with a torch in the driveway just to prove it. But I'll see some guys, you can't use painter's tape, it'll come off. Well, I just get this, whatever I have available. Scotch tape works great. It's a little bit hard to pull off the roll sometimes. This is just a 3/4 inch painter's tape. Don't get the easy peel. You want the stuff that barely comes off. And I just wrap the fuse nice and tight in the direction of travel, and I've never had a problem. This is double wrapped because I'm running out of fuse and I don't want to spend any more money. So this white stuff is actually a very fast fuse, so I'm doubling it up to make sure I give a chance for the rest of the fuses to ignite. Kind of doubling my odds there. And some of these are a little loose. I might just put a gentle zip tie around some of these where I have a bunch, taped together just to make sure none separate, because this will be bouncing across the yard as we put it into place and all that. But here's kind of how I fuse things. So the pink is, and you can't always say green is this, pink is that, white is this, because gosh, it really depends on the vendor. It seems like whatever color they pick off the shelf in China. But this pink is supposed to be, and I've tested it, to be about a second per foot. So it's going to work its way back. This white stuff is about, what is this stuff? Half a second per foot, or a little faster. So it's going to burn slower this way, fast out. That'll give a nice fan. And right down the row all the way to the back. I always like to tuck my tails down in there, keeps them out of the way. And then basically before ready to shoot, I'll just put I'll loosely drape a piece of foil over this. Maybe one piece of tape per side. Because what you don't want to happen is to have sparks land in here, ignite your fuse prematurely, etc., etc. So the way I'm having my trailer organized is the start of the show to the front. Start of the show, some of these motors will be at the start of the show, then it breaks. Second half of the show kind of takes on over here. And then from front to back, from back over there to front, we'll work through the grand finale. So this is actually all part of the grand finale. And we still have a ton more fireworks to get out of the basement. So we might even need another pallet, actually, to get them all staged. And I always like to leave a little space between cakes. Now these are actually all one. So this is the Peking Opera 8. So what'll happen is you'll have your main fuse, then the reserve fuse and the main fuse. So these will kind of daisy chain. At least I think for now I'm going to daisy chain them. Same with this one. This is the, what is this one? I don't even remember. Oh, this is the Vanquish. And that one is the Sidorak. And I have watched YouTube videos upon YouTube videos, and these are the ones I like. I gotta remember what that one is. It's on the list. Let's go look at the list. Here's the other nice thing about using Ignite or Cobra, is that once you have your pyro musical laid out, you have all your cues organized. You can print out the reports here. So printing them, this sheet, you can print them in order of the show. You can print them by order of color. Let's see if we can find what that one is. It's part of the grand finale, which starts at yellow, I believe. So Raccoon 1.4 shells, yep. We got a bunch of those firing at timed intervals. Raccoon Pro shells, Sprinkle Donuts, yep. The Predator, yep, we got that one up there. Pyro Giant, nope. The New Empire, no, take that back. The New Empire is that one where I said it was Godzilla and, not Donkey Kong, King Kong. Insane 1500, Blue Azure. The Insane 1500. That is another one that's Happy Family brand. So that one is probably more or less a standard cake, but it had some effects in it that I liked. So igniters, because I know what I'm doing, I've been doing this for, gosh, this might be our 10th show. I don't know. I lost track. So I have a mix of different igniters here. Most of them are quick connect. I do have some open wire just because I'm going to be firing 20 of those 30 millimeters that I just need to wire, so why pay for the end on it? But these are the quick connect ends. This is kind of what the other end of that looks like. Plugs into the module. This one's actually an E-match, and it's basically because at the end is a little material on there that once voltage and current hits, it basically shoots out a nice, like, I don't know, we'll say 3 to 4 inch flame. It might be a little excessive, 2 to 3 inch flame. And either you can slide this over a fuse, leave a little gap, tape it up to the side, or you can stick this inside one of those receptacles, tape it up, and that'll ignite that black match, no problem. And these are, who are these made by? No, these might be just generic ones, but they should be fine. These are 30 footers, I think. Yeah, 10 meters. Same concept, just a little bit different connector. This will slide down and you can expose the E-match directly if you want, which is what we'll be doing for the bottom of those. And do I have my module? So here's what I'm going to be wiring up. I can post this link on Amazon. This is like a 900 foot RF, basically dumb relay. I'm going to be using a Milwaukee 12 amp hour Forge battery, basically to power this, and then to send power down probably 4 or 5 parallel sets going out to the E-matches. And just because of the sheer amount I'm trying to light off at once and the limitations, I'm basically going to be watching a timer, and at 5 minutes, 14 seconds, boom, that wall will go up. And to everyone else, it'll be like it was all part of the show. So that's that. Other tools of my trade. Because of our distance, we do have some longer Bluetooth antennas to help with signal. They also have some nice breakout boards. So basically you can, what's the best way to, these have cables. You can cable out of one of those ports into this. It's just a way of doing some parallel runs. Here's what that looks like. It's not very long, but you can see one goes into the Ignite module and you get five out. I also use Wagos. You can see that's kind of what I did here. There's a couple where I'm asking the system to fire maybe a little bit more than it should. I just use Wagos to pretty much do what that board does. It gives me a little bit more flexibility. And this is going to be such a short run to the box. I think I'll have plenty of voltage left. What else do I want to show you at this point? There's a ton of work left to do. All of these, look at the cardboard stripped off them to a degree to keep everything. You'll always have a fire just because a lot of these, it's cardboard, flames, sparks, doesn't take much, especially on fans. But just to try to reduce that, or at least reduce the amount of material that can burn, we'll take the tops off, probably go 3/4 way down, remove the cardboard. And did I do any yet? I was going to show you how I have these set up. Because what I would recommend is never, my order of March, if you will, is once everything's prepped, right? It's the 4th of July, this trailer's out there, it's beautiful, sunny, clear day, not a rain cloud in sight. I'm going to have everything kind of just like this hanging out. Or hanging out, kind of just like this. Not connected to anything, but ready. So then stage 1 will be going through a checklist, making sure everything is connected to a fuse. Great. And then part 2 is I power up all of the Ignite modules, do a test, okay, shut them down, good. I like to do that test before anything's plugged in. And then once they're shut off, I will then plug everything, make sure everything is plugged in. And then once everything is plugged in, then I'll wait till about an hour before showtime, half hour before showtime while I can still see, go back through, turn on all the modules. I'll do one final continuity test, which is always hit or miss. You could accidentally light one off. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I've heard it can be done. And then, that just makes sure that you don't have a broken wire, you don't have a broken clip, because inside these is basically a little filament. Yeah, right there. That heats up to ignite that fuse. So you make sure there's no broken connections, and then you're pretty much ready to fire. And this will be a full go once I launch it. If anyone wants to write me a ticket at that point, feel free, because I don't stop the show and I hide the tablets. So it's up to you, officer. You are more than welcome to head down there and start pulling igniters if you wish. Not I, though. But so far, everyone's been real good about it. Neighbors enjoy it. I do it for friends and family, people that just want the camaraderie and experience, and maybe, can't afford to do something like this on their own. We're blessed enough to be out here in the country to be able to do this and the means. So, it's late at night and these fireworks are heavy. I will bring you back in here when I'm wiring stuff up. You can kind of see how I do that, how I protect the wires. And it might be a little overkill, but I have, in 10 years, I've only had 2 or 3 things that didn't light off, and most of it was always my fault. So every year I try to correct on those, and they'll never have a perfect show, probably, but we try to get it as close to perfect as we can every year. Oh, I'll see you in the morning. All right, I will try to give you just a quick example. Again, don't do this, and here's my spiel. You do this and you hurt yourself, not my fault. I'm telling you not to do it unless you're super experienced and are comfortable and understand all the risks and everything that could possibly go wrong. Don't do what I do it at your own risk. This is purely for entertainment. There you go. But I have all the paper off here. You can see I've cut the fuse, and we're gonna basically ignore that here. And I'm gonna try to hang you off the golf cart because I only got so many hands and I'm tired. But we're gonna basically poke a new hole with a scribe right next to it here. Get into that lift charge, open it up, makes a nice hole. Now I will go and grab another E-match, and we will unwrap this one a little bit, and that's what we're looking for. We're gonna push this fuse sleeve out because we don't need it. I just get these because it gives me the ultimate flexibility if I don't need the tube. It doesn't take me much just to get that out of there. That's the end of the E-match. And what we're gonna do is stick that in the hole. It's called poking shell. Doesn't have to go in far, but once it's in there, it's not gonna come out easily just because of the way it is. Then I take some masking tape. I'm just gonna tape around that. Don't have to go crazy. And just as a strain relief, as I lower this into the tube, take another little piece, put that somewhere towards the top, and wham. And then from there, she pretty much drops in where I want it, in this case over here. Doot. Listen for the thump. Now I'm gonna route that around, put a label on the wire so I know where it plugs in. And that's how I'm poking my shells. Here is an update to where we are at. We've probably been at this another couple hours. We got a few more mortars poked with E-matches and prepped. A couple more 62 millimeter canisters in place. They have to be matched yet, but I just want to get the cake situation figured out. We're not even, this is where we are on the list. We have all those. Now granted, some of these are shells on that page. And some of those are already on the trailer as well. Like the grand finale, but we have this back half of the trailer. So like I said, kind of first part of the show, second part of the show, grand finale in the middle. It's just how I did it. I'd rather have the grand finale more centered than the rest of the show. Tomatoes, potatoes, you know, the thing. So we got space to fill in yet here. We have quite a few shells left to plug in. These aren't the only fireworks left. There's I don't know, probably 2 or 3 more trips downstairs to bring up yet. Boy, what? There's things and stuff yet. I got those I gotta prep. But she's filling up, and we're getting close. And once I have them all laid out and labeled, is really when I'll go back and start laying out my wires and routing them, because then I'll try to bundle all the wires into lanes. And what I do then is I take some aluminum foil tape and I'll cover those wire lanes, so when sparks fly, inevitably, you don't get a nice chunk of hot ember or something burning through the insulation, shorting out my wires. Again, overkill maybe, but I've been doing it this way for, well, how long? I said 10 years fireworks, probably with the Ignite system, 6 or 7 years in, and I have yet to have any issues. So we're going to keep that tradition going. Some of these, like I said, this mortar rack will probably stay on the trailer, and I have a few longer E-matches. That's a good reminder, I got to switch that in the program. So I'll just slide that E-match, this little fuse holder on there, tape it up. Before the show, we'll call it good. Ooh, Legos. They're expensive little jobbers. But I'm going to guess for probably 2 or 3 more hours of laying fireworks out, another couple hours of wiring, because I'm just anal like that. And then we'll probably start taping stuff down and start connecting some of the master slave main reverse fuses on the big stuff. I still haven't quite dug into this one yet, though I am curious if this is just a fuse or there's a black match hiding in there. Get out. Really, just a fuse on this one? Well, why does that one have a reverse fuse then? Is this whole thing fused together? Maybe. Maybe that's why she came banded like that. Oh, I see. It goes, I think they shoved a fuse right into the black match. Yep, kind of see it down there. That's what it looks like to me. So, that's fine. We'll change that in the program. Actually, maybe we'll just keep it an E-match. We'll just throw an E-match on that fuse and call it good enough. And all these are going to have, black match to fuse, fuse holder. Connect them all up. So, let me get back to work. I'll catch you up when I get a little more done. Hey, we are at that point where I'm done playing with fireworks for the day. And I'm going to start getting my modules assigned with the right color. This one's been a little stubborn. We're going to try it again. But basically, this just helps me keep everything straight in my mind. And it has to be done anyways, so I just temporarily hook up one of the batteries. Of course, not a super big fan of the battery connectors, but it works. Okay, so you can see it's showing green. We want this to be red. We're going to come to our tablet, add a module. It's going to search for open modules that aren't connected. Now, on every one of these, there is a hex code, if you want to call it that. This one happens to be 9I5L. Sorry about the noise. It's hotter than Satan's sauna in here. So I have the fan going. We're going to enter that code in right here. 9 shifts matter, or capitalization, 9I5L. See, this module might be SOL. So that's going to be something we'll have to think about. Yeah. I knew one of these modules might have been a little screwy. I know this was one of my buddies, and I know he had a problem with one. This might be that one. So we might have to reevaluate how we want to connect some of our leads here. But that's the other reason I do this, because now we're at the 11th hour, give or take, and I'm not going to get a module shipped in time. So, we'll go on to a different one, come back to that. Oh boy. Not enough hands and everything is slippery. Alright, so we're good. Out of that module. Sorry about the motion sickness. Alright. So let's go on to one of these. This little guy here. We'll we'll do the same thing. Hopefully this one works. Hopefully I can get that other one figured out with tech support on the phone. Okay, this one is 29FK. So we'll go ahead and turn that on. What are the chances it's already programmed for blue? Nope. All right. So now we'll add module. And that's that one. And now, what did I say? 29FK. 29FK. See, that's what it should do. Pin successfully matched. And we want this one to be blue. Okay, I'll just leave that there. So now if we hit blue, it's going to assign that module the color. It's going to blink a little bit. It's going to connect. And it'll do this every time it connects to a module. Basically, it's for the sake of firing your show, it's saying, okay, what is my latency basically between the controller and the actual module. But now you can see that we're set that one for blue. And if I go back now to modules, so you can see now we have two modules up here, a blue and a yellow. So I'm gonna go through and do the rest, try to troubleshoot this other one, and I'll bring you back on speed lapse when we're wiring, and I'll show you the final product once we're that far, but we got a ways to go yet here. Hey, bringing you back in here. Kind of thought this was interesting. Basically, as part of our pyro show here, we're going to be doing a wall of comets. They're not just, boring comets. There's like a comet mine, kind of a little mix. They're red, white, and blue. It's going to be really cool. Definitely tune into the show Saturday, July 4th, around 9:10 Central Standard Time. But I needed a way to be able to fire that many E-matches. So they're going to be 25. So I have 25 E-matches that have to go at once. That's a lot of current, potentially. So, and it's far enough back from the rest of the set, it makes it difficult. So how I'm managing that is I got off EvoBay, and I'll put the link in the description. I'm running a Milwaukee M18 12 amp hour high output battery to a 30 amp. We're going to really push it to probably 40 or 60, but we don't care. It's only got to work one time. Battery adapter. And then this guy I also bought on Amazon. This is a remote. If I turn this on down here. So this is like a 900-foot RF on, off. So basically I'm going to be watching my script. It's only at the beginning of the show. I'm going to be watching like 3:13, 3:14, 3:15. Boom. So that's how I'm going to handle that. I'm splitting it out into some terminal blocks. This is just an old used Hoffman fiber box I got from like a local store here called, not Goodwill, Restore. Kind of like a Goodwill for building supplies and that kind of stuff. And so that cover will smash the antenna down a little bit, keep the sparks and debris off it. And I'm breaking out that battery into 3 circuits each. Then I'm just going to throw a Wago on the end, and we'll just, quickly wire all the E-matches into one of these. So that's how I'm going to handle that. It's quick, dirty. I already had the battery. The box was 25. This was a little bit more. This was 70. So I'm probably 125 into this. Just wanted to show you that. And I'm just using whatever scrap wire I have left from all my projects. So, all right. We'll be back this afternoon. I got some help coming over to help get some fireworks wired up, and then I'll show you all that. All right, it has been a couple hours. There's not a thermometer in here, but I'm on my second Hawaiian shirt for the day. No, I'm just kidding. Same Hawaiian shirt, but it can probably stand on its own now. What I'm saying is it's hot with like 200% humidity. But I wanted to bring you back here before I close out this video, kind of show you some of the wiring. So just for safety, I'm not going to get into all of it, but I always make sure anytime I'm dealing with E-matches that I'm always shunted. And basically that, that little guy right there. Static spark can set off an E-match. That little shunt connects both sides so there's no potential for voltage, i.e. It's kind of like a safety device. It is a safety device. Here you can see the bigger cakes. We have wrapped, kind of keeps them all together. These are daisy chains, so it'll go one cake, it'll just burn as a whole system. For the bigger ones, you can kind of see I've started the process of foiling my buddy's trailer here. And I'll just show you what I do here on these. So I take the cap off, throw in my E-match. I will secure the wire twice, once in the port, once on the outside, and I just add a little stress relief of tape. Probably overdoing it a little bit, but that's okay. So I gotta finish a few here, but you're not gonna miss out on anything. We have all of our Talon igniters, the clip-ons, ran, because these modules don't have just a shunt on board. So all the E-matches will come back, and those are labeled, as you can see, and those will get plugged in day of the show. Just so that, from whatever reason, there's electronics in here, and we don't want a spark or something stupid igniting an E-match into my ceiling. And then as they traverse the trailer here, we're gonna take all these and bundle them up real nice. And once they're bundled, we're gonna tape them down with some metal tape. I'll show you what I use for that. Here it is. This is IPG. You can find this in your heating and cooling area of your hardware store. This stuff is good for 350 degrees on its own, and obviously burning sparks and stuff are hotter than that, but this is just a extra protection. So when I run those wires and bundle them, I'll put like 2 layers of this on it, and that'll just act as a heat shield so the wires can't get burned through, don't short out all the things, some of the stuff. And then kind of the coup de grace, and again, I don't have to show you because it's boring. We're basically going to take foil and some masking tape, and we're just gonna foil cover all the cakes. Now, you can argue, yeah, that's a waste of time, but I don't like surprises in my shows, and anything I can control, I will try to control. So, the professional cakes, I'm not worried about. Most of them have a nice foil on them already. But all these open ones, they're igniting, right? Some of these are just cheap consumer grade cakes. They have kind of an excess of sparks sometimes. And we don't want sparks in this one landing in the quick fuse down there, that white blob you see, and setting off this cake prematurely. So the foil just adds an extra layer of protection. Doesn't have to be on there much. The fireworks will shoot right through it. We just tape it a couple times. It's only got to last long enough till it blows it off when its time has come. So we're going to do that with all of these. The mortar tubes, I'll take just a thicker tape like this. Painter's tape, masking tape, a thicker one. I'll just kind of I'll TP on top of all the fuses. That's typically good enough. I haven't had any of those ignite prematurely. But that's really it. Just a little bit more organization, a final check, foil, and we're going to be ready for our show again. I almost have it figured out. I'm new to YouTube live streaming, but it will be July, barring some unforeseen weather. And in that case, I'll kind of let people know as soon as I can. But Saturday, July 4th, 2026, I'm going to start the live stream at 9. I anticipate fireworks starting between 9:10 and 9:15 Central Standard Time. So be sure to join us. I'm hoping you can hear all the audio good enough through my setup, and that my video camera is going to cooperate with the night shots. But it should be a good show set to some awesome music, and I think all of you will really like it. So, I very much appreciate everyone who likes and subscribes. We broke 200. That's fantastic. For a channel that I just started out having fun with, I'm like, who's going to want to watch this except maybe me? My kids maybe when they're my age. But I very much appreciate everyone hitting that like and subscribe button. Helps me, helps the channel. Check out the descriptions in the link below for all my affiliated Amazon links. When you purchase from those, it helps me. I get a little kickback, helps the channel. It's not much, but every little bit helps. And I am going to spend the rest of the week smoking meat and doing final firework checkout and reevaluating and double checking and triple checking. So until next time, thanks for watching Beyond the Manual, and have a safe and happy 4th of July.